All right, we're starting with, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. We're just gonna do this like any old regular story time. Firgo, thank you so much for the follow. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. There he is. There's our boy. We're gonna kind of burn through these kind of quick because we're all adults here. When I leave home to walk to school, Dad always says to me, "Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see." But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me and sternly says, "Your eyesight's much too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales. Stop turning minnows into whales." Now, what can I say when I get home today? The German pronunciation for it, Seuss sounds like a German name. The EU is pronounced like oi. Traditionally, but things get anglicized. He went by Seuss. Right, and here's the illustration. It's just our boy again. All the long way to school and all the way back, I've looked and I've kept careful track, but all that I've noticed, except my own feet, was a horse and a wagon on Mulberry Street. That's nothing to tell of. That won't do, of course. Just a broken down wagon that's drawn by a horse. That can't be my story. That's only a start. I'll say that a zebra was pulling that cart. And that is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. There's him, there's the zebra pulling the cart. Yes, the zebra is fine, but I think it's a shame such a marvelous beast with a cart that's so tame. The story would really be better to hear if the driver I saw were a charioteer. A gold and blue chariot something to meet, rumbling like thunder down Mulberry Street. Zebras yellow, offensive to zebras? True. That's probably why. Everything seems kosher so far. No, it won't do at all. A zebra's too small. A reindeer is better. He's fast and he's fleet, and he'd look mighty smart on old Mulberry Street. Hold on a minute. There's something wrong. A reindeer hates the way it feels to pull a thing that runs on wheels. He'd be much happier instead if he could pull a fancy sled. A reindeer and sleigh. Say, anyone could think of that. Jack or Fred or Joe or Nat. Say, even Jane could think of that. Jane, right? Am I right, fellas? But it isn't too late to make one little change. A sleigh and an elephant. There's something strange. I'll pick one with plenty of power and size. A blue one with plenty of fun in his eyes. And then, just to give him a little more tone, are we ready? Have a Raja with rubies perched high on a throne. Say, that makes a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. There he is. There's the Raja. There's our first racial stereotype of the book. SMH Jane, true, Firgo. That one's not necessarily unfavorable, and my wife kind of agreed with me on this. This Raja isn't necessarily like, I wouldn't say what we'd consider a negative racial stereotype, but it's still something that's like kind of dated. A lot of these aren't specifically harmful per se, especially for the time. They're just kind of dated stereotypes. But now I don't know. It still doesn't seem right. An elephant pulling a thing that's so light would rip it around in the air like a kite. But he'd look simply grand with a big brass band. There it is. There's his nice heavy load that he's carrying. Legit got a friend named Jane and she's stupid as fuck. True. A band that's so good should have someone to hear it, but it's going so fast that it's hard to keep near it. I'll put on a trailer. I know they won't mind if a man sits and listens while hitched on behind. But now is it fair? Is it fair what I've done? I'll bet those wagons weigh more than a ton. That's really too heavy a load for one beast. I'll give him some helpers. He needs two at least. So you've got the gentleman over here who's having a lovely listen to the band, and you've got two giraffes to help the elephant here. Raja's still vibing. But now what worries me is this. Mulberry Street runs into bliss. Unless there's something I can fix up, there'll be an awful traffic mix-up. This one's not super interesting. It's just an intersection. Hold your horses and elephants and giraffes. It takes police to do the trick. To guide them through where traffic's thick, it takes police to do the trick. Also not based in Pogpilled. A cab, am I right, folks? They'll never crash now. They'll race at top speed with Sergeant Mulvaney himself in the lead. Say what you want. These police seem like fine and lovely people. All right? The mayor is there, and he thinks it is grand, and he raises his hat as they dash by the stand. The mayor is there, and the aldermen too, all waving big banners of red, white, and blue. And that is a story no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. So why are we mad at Childhood God? Because it turns out he put some pretty offensive and dated racial stereotypes in his book. We're getting to it, Enclave. Welcome to Adult Storytime. With a roar of its motor, an airplane appears and dumps out confetti while everyone cheers. And that makes a story that's really not bad, but it still could be better. Suppose that I add... ... Pro-police ban? True. In my opinion, it just looks like a guy who's vibing with his elephant. Yeah, like I said, that one's not super cringy. Here's the main one, I think. A Chinese man who eats with sticks. All right, this was the final one that they landed on. We already took a look at the. We can find the original here once we're done with the book. A Chinese man who eats with sticks. A big magician doing tricks. A 10-foot beard that needs a comb. No time for more. I'm almost home. I swung round the corner and dashed through the gate. I ran up the steps and I simply felt great. For I had a story that no one could beat. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Cancel Seuss for having whack rhymes. True. We should do this to a beat, alright? I'll do one of them to a beat, alright? But Dad said quite calmly, just draw up your stool and tell me the sights on the way home from school. There was so much to tell, I just couldn't begin. Dad looked at me sharply and pulled at his chin. He frowned at me sternly from there in his seat. Was there nothing to look at? No people to greet? Did nothing excite you or make your heart beat? Nothing, I said, growing red as a beet, but a plain horse and wagon on Mulberry Street. So that one's it's the Raja and the Chinese boy mostly. Let me find the original Chinaman text. Hang on, let me. Dr. Seuss Mulberry Street Chinaman. Let's see if we can find it. Original. Show me the original. Show me. Here it is. Here's the original text. This is sarcasm, right? I mean, this was years ago, plus the man is dead. To contextualize it, his estate has discontinued printing on 6 of his books. This is one of them. And specifically because they understand and recognize that they've got some pretty cringy racial stereotypes in them, and they don't want to continue to put that out into the world alongside their his other classics that aren't quite as problematic. Which I think is fine. All right, let's do this to a beat, all right? Copyright free beat. Free no copyright beat instrumental trap 11. Let's do it.
Monkey.
Oh god, this is gonna be so fucking cringe, folks. All right. MC Seuss. When I leave home to walk to school, Dad always says to me, Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see. But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me and sternly says, your eyesight's much too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales. Stop turning minnows into whales. Now what can I say when I get home today? All the long way to school. You know what? I'll back that up a little bit. I can hit that harder, all right? What can I say when I get home today? Shit. Here it is. Here's the drop. All right, ready? All the long way to school and all the way back, I've looked and I've kept careful track, but all that I've noticed except my own feet was a horse and a wagon on Mulberry Street. There's nothing to tell of, that won't do, of course. Just a broken down wagon that's drawn by a horse. That can't be my story, that's only a start. I'll say that a zebra was pulling that cart, and that is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Fucking bars. All right, let's move on. This has been canceled story time with Cody. All right.